Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio Plague. And yeah, picking it back up where we left off last time, we're apparently going to be taking a bomb to the cults. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I mean, I guess we're going to set it off somehow, but I'm not sure how. Is it one where you just kind of like throw, and then it blows up, but you hope it blows up from a distance? Or are we going to be like putting ourselves at extreme risk? He did say something about fireproof ointment, so are we going to be having it blow up on ourselves? And assume we're going to be safe from the fire? Guess we'll have to find out. The moment has arrived and you are unexpectedly calm. You're ready to go, you're ready to do what needs to be done. You call a coach and prepare to go to the meeting point. You glimpse small snatches of London scenes through the carriage window as you pass. A part of you, it says goodbye in case you should never see it again. Reginald is sitting in front of you, nervous and on edge. He keeps changing position as if he cannot quite find a comfortable position. You intuit that he wishes to speak to you, but that he is afraid of interrupting your thoughts. At one point, you look at him and smile. He smiles back, but it's forced. Then he looks for a better place to sit. For the first time in many months, you feel fundamentally tranquil. You know now that you are not crazy and no longer feel the weight persecution, real or imagined. Instead, you have a clear purpose and a chance to put an end to the nefarious plans of an insidious snake. As per the instructions, you get out of the carriage a small distance from the actual meeting place. Now I'm actually paranoid. Since this guy just told us how to do a bomb to kill these folks. Now I'm paranoid whether they don't seem like good guys, but I'm not sure about. Yeah, I'm really not sure whether the other guy's good. I mean, they're definitely not good guys, but yeah, they did force us into captivity and to join them. So you think you pay the driver. For a moment, you're suspicious the driver's complexion is very dark, but you cannot be certain since it's getting dark. It's racist. You try to get a better look at him. As he whips the horses into motion, he smiles, and you suddenly see his brilliant white teeth in contrast to his dark skin. Stay in these parts. I will be back shortly. What if, if things get... If you do not see me again before dawn, things have probably gone badly. Reginald looks at you in silence. You can tell he would normally say something funny, but right now he doesn't have the heart. You embrace him warmly and set off towards the port, and towards the specified dock. Reginald follows you with his eyes for several minutes. You pull the top hat securely down onto your head. The weight of the bomb is not so much, perhaps only a pound and a few ounces, so you can wear the hat with sufficient ease. Hidden from your clothes, your skin feels slimy with the fireproof ointment you so carefully prepared. You have reserved an extra portion of it in your pocket for your face. You can't be sure whether it is enough to protect you, but deep down you realize it matters little. The man welcomes you, you give him the password, and he tells you to follow him. What was the password? Was it password? The warehouse stinks, and its gloomy interior is filled with damp, tangled ropes and boxes. You follow the man along a dark passageway, and then he moves aside a large trunk to reveal a small ladder. A few yards underground, you find yourself in a large chamber that looks like an ancient temple. Doric columns, an altar, and the sound of water dripping and echoing complete the surreal scene. You feel as if you have entered a parallel world. Around you there are men and women wearing the by now familiar masks and kilts. On the altar there is a mask and a kilt, presumably yours. 3 large men stand before the altar. You decide they must be the leaders. One of them gestures for you to come closer. I'm very shy. Can I go in the back to change into my kilt? It's really cold outside. You guys know about shrinkage, right? As you walk, you feel hands upon you, gently stripping you of your blazer, while the men on the altar are chanting strange litanies. But you are hardly listening to them. It's time for you to act. It's gonna say if they're stripping you, you know, they're gonna take your top hat, you know. I guess if we're gonna do it, we're gonna need to do it, you know. I mean, we know that that's a terrible idea. We got no fighting skill. We can only buy one more skill of fighting anyway, so that would be a bad idea. If they take the hat, then I mean they can be like, "Hey, what's this? Is this a bomb? This looks like a bomb. Is this a bomb?" What if this is like a test, you know, that they're doing for you, that they're doing to us? That would be pretty twisted. Like, you're gonna kill us? Well, you know what? We told you to do that, so now we know you're willing to kill. So, kill or be killed. That'd be pretty twisted. Yeah, let's throw it. Have no choice. You must act. Taking off your hat, you throw it hard at the altar. The weight of the bomb facilitates the throw. It hits the large block of stone directly, and according to plan, the internal glass components break, mixing the flammable chemicals. Oh, wow. The explosion is not particularly substantial, but is sufficient to spray the flaming liquid produced by the chemical reaction in all directions, creating a dangerous fire in seconds. Two of the three men at the altar are killed in the blast. The third is lying on the ground, screaming and trying to extinguish the flames that are searing his skin. Many other members of the cult are on fire, and there are chaotic scenes all around you. You spread the remaining ointment on your face and run towards the exit. The heat of the flames is unbearable, and your clothes are starting to catch fire. Two of the cultists are upon you, hindering your escape. Okay, I don't have enough observation, right? No. Hopefully 4 will do. Dang! You're in trouble. It's difficult to find a clear escape route. You manage to get close to the exit, but then you see that there are 2 cult members blocking your escape while the others are gathering behind you. They are approaching angrily, and you certainly don't have enough bullets for them all. We don't have... It doesn't say fighting skill. You shoot the men in front of you and then turn to those following you, who hesitate immediately. No one knows how many shots you have left, including you. You rush towards the exit with the cultists in hot pursuit. You dash up the ladder and into the warehouse. You push the trunk back over the trapdoor and weigh it with other objects for making your escape. You're able to eliminate the leaders of the cult. You may not have stopped it completely, but you're quite sure that any survivors will need time to regroup and decide how to continue their plans. They know where I live, though, so that's uncomfortable. They know my name and... Oh, wow. Got 34 experience points. Nice. Could have used that in observation a minute ago. Got the achievement, so I guess that was blow up the... Cool. Not that doing that... Not that, you know, making a bomb and, you know, killing them was cool, but... The achievement I got for it was. In the meantime, perhaps he can prepare so as to make sure that when the cult comes back, there are those who are ready to face them. This is all in Act 2, or Chapter 2. Where's this game going to go? If it's 4 chapters. It is 4 chapters, right? The description on Steam says between 4 to 6 hours. This has been at least 4 hours of playtime. Of course, a lot of it's me yakking, you know, like this, or a decent portion anyway. Big Ben stands black against the night, and just beyond, the outline of Parliament, piercing the sky with its spires. London is never wholly silent, but at night it's normally clamorous. Its normally clamorous voice is muted, and your footsteps echo and reverberate through its alleyways and mews. You almost imagine disturbing shadows reaching down from the firmament, as if some dark entity were trying to strangle your city. Heinous fingers searching for a throat. Reginald is at the corner where he had promised to wait for you. He seems agitated and anxious, nervously pulling at his overcoat sleeves. The moment he sees you arrive, he beams with relief. Rather different to his usual jovial smiles, and as soon as he can, he embraces you affectionately. Jake is beginning to fear the worst. Walking with Reginald, he tells you excitedly about his various ideas to help you disappear into thin air. He has prepared for you a bag with various items that will no doubt be useful for you, including money, food, clothes, and a train ticket. Reginald stops a hansom cab and practically pushes you on board. Coachman, London, Victoria. Who's Victoria? Reginald turns to you and gestures for you to get inside. Now his smile is very different, forced, trying to hide his sadness. Goodbye, Jake. Still 1 foot on the running board, you turn to look back at your generous friend. Reginald has given you so much, even put himself at risk for you, and always with his perennial and magnanimous smile. You wish you could find the words to make him understand the depth of your gratitude, but even if you could, the knot in your throat would not let you pronounce them. Reginald waves goodbye. The coachman whips his horses into motion. Thank you. There are only words you can say, but you would like to add so many more. Now he flashes a real smile and yells back. You can buy me a full-course dinner next time we meet. Did we tell him about the dinners at the cult? He might be like, hey, maybe they're still survivors. Like, maybe we can get some food. They're looking for some, they're probably trying to get some new members fast, since they, a lot of them died. So maybe I could join. You laugh, but the knot in your throat grows tighter, and the image of your friend recedes into the distance. You have the hansom drop you directly at London, Victoria. You pay the coachman and enter the large station, the perfect place to disappear without a trace. You look for an inconspicuous place to wait for your train, somewhere you have less chance of being seen. Finally, the first morning train makes its appearance at Victoria Station. You show your ticket to the conductor, who tells you your carriage and seat number. You have no trouble finding it and take your seat a few minutes before departure. As the train leaves the platform and begins to rock rhythmically, you feel every muscle in your body slowly relaxing, finally giving way to a sense of relieved calm. All of a sudden, you realize that you didn't even look at your destination on your ticket and you reach into your pocket. Apparently, you're on your way to Liverpool. Going to Liverpool, okay. The train is hurtling along through the beautiful English countryside. It's been quite some time since you left behind the smoky black streets of the capital for the luscious green fields and pleasant sloping hills all around. The train has already stopped a number of times and at every passing station, and despite your outward attempts at nonchalance, you have been throwing glances at the faces of people boarding for anything which could be construed as suspicious. And each time it happens, you curse yourself in this involuntary and increasing paranoia. I would be doing the same. Now, this is not exactly paranoia. You may have been paranoid before, but this time is you definitely need to still be watching your back some, Most likely they would know that which train you'd be on, stuff like that, but still. Several hours go by before the train reaches the last stop, and then finally you hear the whistle announcing the final stop. Liverpool Central Station. Get off the train and hasten to leave the station, still with the horrible feeling of being constantly observed. Leaving the station and walking the streets of the city, you soon detect the acrid smell of the Mersey. What's the Mersey? Heading in this direction, you pass vast throngs of people of different ethnicities coming and going. Liverpool only officially became a city 20 years previously, and thanks to its busy port, it has been expanding constantly since. Reginald will talk to you about an acquaintance, a certain Francis J. Elian, captain of a cargo ship. He apparently provides your friend Reginald with new and exotic foods from around the world, returning to England about every 6 months or so. So you're heading for the port to try to find this captain who, according to your friend, is currently preparing to set sail. The port is huge and, like the one in London, filled with workers, sailors, and crowds of all kinds. Looking down towards the docks, you can see so many masts that it looks like a forest. Scanning the chaos, you make out what looks like a merchant. He's barking orders left and right, and something about his bearing reminds you of Captain Smith. Go up to him to speak. Okay, I was going to say, maybe he is Captain Smith, but no. What do you want, boy? Don't waste my time. I'm busy. Wow. Rude. Are you Francis J. Elian? Who wants to know? I mean, we are a doctor. How about that? I'm getting a crew back together right now for my next voyage. Get ready. We're leaving today. Sweet. I'm the doctor. I'll be Chopper. Are you Luffy? We got a Zorro. We need a Zorro. We definitely need a Zorro. Some people might get that reference. Cool people if you do. I need to watch that show again. I'm pretty bad behind. Okay. Cool, man. We're just racking up the experience. We already got 102 again. Wow. You're now sailing west with the merchant ship Serenity. Is it Serenity now or later? Just making references about everything. Under Captain Francis J. Elian. The first leg of the voyage will take you to New Bedford in North America. Ooh, we are going to America. That's talking about America would be a good place to hide from the cult. As you were able to intuit from the moment you met him, Elian evidently knows that you're hiding something, but also that as long as you do your job well, without making a fuss, he will not pry into your affairs. Pretty good. Might be like, don't want to scare you, but I've kind of got a cult after me. Let's go to America. You've already been at sea for some days already, and once again, you're surrounded by a vast, unchanging, and expansive blue. You've been assigned a small cabin and a medical kit. So far, your job has been fairly easy, limited to treating and bandaging small wounds and dealing with minor stomach complaints or hangovers. And that's all we got on us. Let me go ahead and clear this out. Not that we'll keep it for very long. I mean, we got a whole bunch of crap in our inventory back in Africa, and it was like, gone. There's not many opportunities for a conversation, but there is a small library assembled by your predecessors on board, and so you spend a great deal of time reading. As you fall into the routine, your days at sea become identical. You spend the day busy with your tasks and usually fall asleep the moment you get to your cabin. Over the last few days, however, you have had moments of utter exhaustion. On these occasions, you have noticed some disturbing effects on your vision. You have seen or imagined strange shadows on the edge of your visual field. That doesn't sound good. You cannot put it down to mere fatigue or the effects of the strong sun bearing down on you when you're on deck. There's something else. In your mind, you connect it to the paranoia that you were experienced before your departure, and that your business on board had helped you forget. You're having nightmares again, though fortunately for now, you forget what they were about the moment you wake up. But they give you a sense of unease which continues the whole day. What little you can remember consists of dark and weird shapes rising up, like sea monsters from the black abyss. You try to conceal your gloomy animus from the crew and to concentrate only on your daily tasks, but another terrible thought lies at the back of your mind. What if these latest symptoms, dark feelings, and strange hallucinations, are not just a result of your paranoia in Delft and London, but a sign that you really did catch the disease in Zanzibar? Well, it's taken a long time to work. I mean, it sounds like he was in Holland for quite a while. And I mean, this is the 1800s. You don't just be like, hey, I'm in Africa. I'm going to go to London. 10 hours later, 12 hours later, it's like several days at least. I would assume. I don't know if it would quite be a month, but it would take a week. I would imagine by ship. At least. It's not just about your exhaustion. You cannot sleep. You decide, therefore, to go up on deck and to feel the freshness of the evening on your face. New character. There you find some men gathered in a circle, passing around a bottle of rum and listening to stories. Adair Medina, the wiry Argentinian, is holding court, amusing himself by scaring the younger members of the crew with tall tales of unthinkable, abominable creatures hidden in the depths of the South Seas. Let's hear the story. When the sea is shaken by tropical storms, or when you are lost in an unnatural fog, well, that's when you should start to worry. Maybe you think you know your ship. Maybe you think you know how to deal with storms, or whatever else the ocean can throw at you. But in truth, that's when you will find out you know nothing about the things which you live under the water, or how great its appetite. I was serving on a brig. It must have been about 7 years ago now, when I saw one myself. There was an awful storm, and all of a sudden, I saw a giant tentacle rising out above the main mast, and then a giant and fearful shape emerged from the water behind it. For a few moments, we were completely in its shadow. Then, luckily, we were swept away from that terrifying thing by the fury of the storm. There's murmuring amongst the men, and someone tries to make light of the story. A sure sign that the story really did frighten them. When the storm finally calmed, we saw damage on the sides of the ship that no wave could have caused, as if something enormous had us tightly in its clutches before ripping chunks from the hull. And afterwards, there are 5 men missing. The captain wrote in his logs that they had fallen to the sea, but when found body parts in the rigging, an arm, part of a torso, as if something had chewed them to little pieces. Okay. Hearing that story was an achievement. Cool. Now there's silence in the starless night. Someone nearby takes a long slug of rum. Why not? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy, says Hamlet. Perhaps Shakespeare had not known the ocean, or would have said more. The other crew members look at you as if you were a strange creature. You laugh it off, blaming it on too much dodgy rum. Your reference to rum seems to convince the other sailors, who decide to drink more themselves. You decide that, of course, it was just the rum that made you believe Medina's ridiculous tale and that there is laughter all around. Let's stay with the sailors, Why not? Stay on deck enveloped by the darkness of the night. Medina's story disturbed you more than you could care to admit. Around you there is only the sound of the waves, the wind in the sails, and the faint creaking of the lantern you're carrying. You walk carefully, checking each step as you go. There is a strong wind swirling around the masts, flapping the sails. A strong gust almost puts you off balance. Something about it seems more than just wind, more presence. You detect a shadow moving at your side. Then you feel a sensation like a scratch on your leg as another shadow whips past you. Then you turn around and hold up your lamp. There is nothing there. Great. He did have that vision when he was coming back from, or that dream, when he was coming back from Africa. So, from what I remember, it did seem rather like what Medina described. The guy's name is Medina. I remember that, right? Well, back towards your cabin, out of the corner of your eye, you catch the quick movement of a shadow, then another. Lovely. Suddenly you find yourself surrounded, dozens of figures closing in on you. They look like shadows, but at the same time, they seem to have a certain density. They have a vaguely human form, but the proportions appear deformed. With unnatural lengthened limbs, they appear to have claws instead of fingertips. Is he having a really bad high and seeing the sailors? Are some sort of a delusion that's making him see like the people as monsters? You see them coming up from the sides of the ship, over the railings, down from the mast and along the bridge. Okay, not all of them are actual people then. They're getting closer and closer from every direction. You hear a low, ominous snarl. Well, I don't have good on either of them. Crap. Should I spend the points on agility now? I don't know. I feel like we are getting a lot of experience pretty fast, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. Bring our agility. I was going to focus on observation, medicine, and speechcraft, but okay, good. Okay, good. I'm still going to focus on those when I can, but I mean, hey, I had between fighting and, didn't have many options. Race headlong towards the door, doing your best to ignore the shadows. The lantern falls to the deck and breaks, shooting flames in all directions. When you reach the far end of the bridge, you stop and look around. The shadows have gone. It is as if they had never been there at all. The wind is blowing and the ship rolls gently as on any normal evening. Except the rising flames. Yeah, that's a concern. You're cold and alone on deck when suddenly your vision fades into blackness and you lose consciousness. I thought you could hold your own. Medina's voice penetrates your skull and into your mind. You slowly open your eyes and look around. There's a group of sailors, including Medina, Elian, and Elian the captain. Give them space. Can you stand up? You do not stand up. You brush it off. You brush it off as a momentarily feeling of faintness. Then suddenly you remember the flames. Don't worry, we put them out. Get to your cabin. Let's see if a night's sleep will sort you out. Okay, good. I was worried the ship was going to be burning. You think the captain say goodnight to sailors who help you and to your cabin. Back in your cabin, you think back to the shadows and wonder with a shiver if something there had been anything there, or if it were all just a dreadful hallucination. Seems like a hallucination so far. The Serenity has docked in New Bedford, its first port of call. It will only be a short break. You will have to depart again only a few hours later. Elian calls you into his cabin. You have no idea why you've been called, but it does not take long to find out. The captain wishes to ask a favor of you. I need the substance indicated on this note. Here at the port there is a man who can procure it, but I need someone to verify its authenticity. And since you're a doctor, I think you should be able to tell if it's real or not. This is the money you will need. Okay, sweet. Elian gives you some banknotes. We have 5 in medicine, right? Yeah. You have disembarked and now you are walking through the harbor. You are now far away from London, Zanzibar, and the cold. The madness of your old life is beginning to seem like a hazy dream. Despite the hustle and bustle of this small town harbor, you're beginning to relax. The cold air is nippy but fresh. You're even thinking about abandoning the merchant ship and settling here for a while. Let's stick with the mission. I feel like we need to stick with the on the ship for now. Despite your plan to abandon the ship, you decide to go and find what Captain Elian asked you to get. And even if you were to decide to stay here, he did give you the money, so you'd be a thief if you just took it and left. You read the note. It is an opium derivative, a strong painkiller. Now you understand the captain's reticence in speaking of it. No doubt he suffers from chronic pain and needs this substance for relief. You follow the directions on the note and you find yourself in a shop in the harbor that sells just about everything. Yeah, I'd like to buy some drugs. You approach the owner and make your request. I know this substance. The man looks at you suspiciously until you explain that you're buying it on behalf of the captain of the Serenity. The man nods and asks you to follow him to the back of the shop. Was opium even illegal back in the 1800s? I feel like it was probably legal. I don't feel like this is shady, I mean, cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola, Cocaine used to be a painkiller. Cocaine and opium isn't the same thing, right? I don't think so. I think there is a difference. I'm not an expert on drugs, as you can tell. Thankfully, I'm crazy enough. Naturally, I don't need any help. When you get there, there is a It is dark and dusty. The shopkeeper wants to see the money first. Well, this is a drug deal. This definitely feels like a drug deal. Okay, good. I have the money, but I want to see what I'm paying for first. The man grunts and opens a piece of cloth to show you the organic material inside. Okay, good. Try to get a better look at the dried plant material inside the sack, even taking a small pinch, rubbing it between your fingers and smelling carefully. The shopkeeper is trying to hide his obvious frustration. At least he didn't go like this, because that's a terrible idea. When you're satisfied with the veracity and quality of product, you wrap it up again, pay the shopkeeper, and head off back to your ship. You must return and report to the captain. You have, however, been at sea for quite some time and are considering the idea of taking the load off your feet and having a quick drink. I'm tempted to do the drink, but I'm thinking that we'll wind up getting pickpocketed and lose it if we go and relax. So. Why not? Let's relax. He needs a break. You enter the nearest of the harbor taverns. Even though it's the middle of the day, the place is filled with men filling the time for the next departure by drinking at a rapid pace. You order a pint of beer and sit down to reflect further on the possibility of leaving this serenity and starting a new life here. It is very tempting. You could assume a new identity, forget about all the troubles of Delft and London, and the disease. Suddenly you hear shouting behind you. Two drunken, red-faced sailors are arguing about something. Others join in the discussion, and before long, somebody throws a punch. Pandemonium breaks out, and you see the man picked up and slammed down at the table where you were sitting. Your beer is sent flying, and it smashes on the floor. Crap. I want to do that, but I feel like that's going to get us involved in the fight. We're a doctor. Lean over the man. He seems dazed. The first thing to do is move him to a safer part of the room, but just as you're trying to do this, a glass smashes onto your forehead, filling your face with blood and beer. Okay, we'll take that as an indication to leave. We're going to go now. You try to pick your way out of the tavern, avoiding the flying drinks and stools. You almost get to the door when someone grabs your shoulder from behind and you can smell the alcohol on his breath. Well, hey, we did increase agility a minute ago, so. Okay, good. You slip out of his hold and move away. He tries to lunge forward and grab you again, but he falls to the ground. He continues swearing and lashing out at anyone who comes close. You leave the tavern and walk back to the ship along the streets of New Bedford in the direction of the ship. After what happened at the tavern, you have abandoned the idea of settling here. For now, it's best to keep moving. Inventory. Okay, good. We still got the herbal mixture. I was thinking it'd get pickpocketed, but I'm glad I was wrong. You walk up to the Serenity's gangway. As soon as you are on deck, you run into Captain Elian, who looks at you anxiously. Well. With a smile, you take out the packet that Captain Elian wanted. Good work, Huntington. Yeah. Got an achievement. Said mission accomplished. Completed the yeah. Captain gives you a broad smile, pats you on the back, and takes the product. The product. Shouting orders, he walks off back to his cabin. Prepare to set sail. Okay, really, the product. We got the product. We acquired the product. But anyway, that is going to be the end of this one. Yeah. Well, yeah, settling there wasn't a good idea. Not at all. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and let me know what you think. and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next episode. Later there, folks.